just try your best, open that browser, put in menti.com. But also I'm gonna be watching the chat. So don't worry if you can't get in there. We are gonna move along. And actually, just to know that this is working, and for the people that are in there, I want to just get a little sense of the room here. Have you started using AI in your business? And so I want to get a little temperature check. It helps me understand. It doesn't matter if you have not. So we've got 10 in yes, and we've got some 5 in no's. Anybody else want to say, okay, we've got more yeses? Absolutely. We've got some in the chat as well. That's great. So again, it doesn't really matter where you are at, but I am interested in how confident do you feel using AI tools? So the first one is totally lost. The second is I'm just testing the waters. The third is getting there. The fourth is comfortable. And you know what? The fifth is confident and curious. So here we go. Testing the waters when getting there are kind of neck and neck. Let's just see where everybody's at. Comfortable. There's nobody lost here. That's pretty impressive. I've got to have one person that's totally lost. It's usually pretty common, but this is really great to know. So now we know, again, we're in a room that we're all in this together. So thank you for sharing, and you know how to use Menti, which is amazing. The last webinar, if you were not there, I do always like to bring up the last webinar. This is a series of 4. We talked about one of the biggest barriers to using AI or really growing with technology. And this is mindset. And a lot of people don't even realize this. And so when about 90% of the people that come to me for strategy or training, they come in and they are super excited. And then we realize really quickly, actually, it's not the technology and learning the new tools that get in the way, but it's actually their mindset. And so that's something that I just want to make sure that you pay attention yourself when you get stuck, or perhaps for some reason you maybe already started this AI journey, but you're not progressing to where you want to be. Or if you've not started, what are those reasons why? Even if you're like, am I even ready for this? Today's session it doesn't matter where you are, as I mentioned 3 times before. I do want to just give the highlight on my background. For those of you who don't know me, this is going to be important, but for those of you who do know me, welcome back. My passion is all about helping entrepreneurs like you work smarter, not harder, by getting started with AIs in ways that are really practical, profitable, and completely doable. And even if you're not techie, I highlight that non-techie aspect. I've built 2 very different global businesses. I had one in the UK for almost a decade, and then one on the East Coast, which is where I'm at right now in Canada, Nova Scotia. Worked with amazing clients. But I'll tell you something that I wish I had when I was running these 2 businesses. I wish I had generative AI. And it would have saved me so much time. It would have saved me so much stress and trial and error. That is the 100% truth. Because AI has completely transformed how I work. And so much so that I actually opened this 3rd business called Agility Hub. And I've been helping people across Canada, thousands of SMBs, getting started with AI and really being able to provide a bottom-up approach. So it's all about people and integration. And that's the kind of the difference. And you really using technology to cut those busy hours, or when you're doing busy work, or reach more customers or scale faster. But it's not about me today. It's absolutely about you. I'm not here to just talk about AI. I just want to show you real strategies and growth. And I was going through a whole bunch of papers, and the AI world is a little bit crazy. You have to stay on top of it all the time. But I came across this and I thought this was really important because, again, often we feel like we have to be 100% ready to get started, or to feel like we're progressing. And really the most important step is to simply begin, or just to take that next step. And Young Lee, who's the head of GoDaddy Canada, she said that by using AI tools, small businesses now hold the power to outmaneuver larger companies, and Canadian micro businesses are starting to close that gap in terms of earnings, output, and commercial confidence. And I think that's really important, especially for SMBs and micro businesses, which is even 1 to 10. It's closing that gap. We're at that playing field where we can all participate. That hopefully will give you a little confidence to go, okay, yeah, I'm in this right spot. So what we're going to cover is some case studies. I've got some to show you. AI quick wins. We're going to go through just very briefly measuring AI impact, and Q&As. We're always going to do Q&As at the end. So we'll keep on moving through here. Now, Right now, we know this is a technical shift. We know that we're all probably uncomfortable. Sometimes we're excited and then we're tired and then we're not sure what to do. But what we're experiencing is not just innovation, and it's actually an acceleration. So everything feels like it's going fast. AI is essentially, it's an old technology, but again, generative AI is more of a new technology. And the stuff that's been moving down the pipeline, it's like it's on steroids all the time. And so it's faster, it's more powerful, and it's evolving daily. If you try to keep up with it, your head might be spinning. So the projects that I'm sharing with you today, they're not theoretical. They are examples of AI being successfully implemented into real business, which I think is really important. And the potential for you is massive. And the screen that's been up for a little bit here, Sam Sebastian, who is from Google, he highlighted something really interesting, that AI is set to boost productivity in Canada by $230 billion and could actually give us back 175 hours a year to every Canadian worker. Now, give me a thumbs up if that's or in the chat or on Menti. That's pretty amazing. And so that's really the power of AI when it's used intentionally to save that time, to reduce that effort, and to really create business momentum. But it all seems a little bit, where's everything at? And the reality is, there is like a little bit of a framework. And I actually put this together based on AI leaders like Ray Bahat and Andrew Mig. And then there's common in innovation frameworks. But what it is, we currently sit at the trial and error phase. So for some of us, we go, actually, I'm just figuring this out. I'm just hearing about AI. I'm just trying to take that first step. There's people that are right in there with trial and error, and then there's some with awareness. But where we're at, even in the US, sorry if that gives you, I know there's so much going on, but what I want to say is we're trial and error. Everyone is testing, big companies, small companies, individuals, teams, everybody's trying AI in different ways. And so if you get aggravated, if you want that perfect playbook, I can't promise you that. And nobody can promise you that. So if people are promising you that, sometimes you have to question, because it's always moving. If there's no perfect way to do this, and what may work for your company may not work for another, just so you know. And so wins are emerging all the time, and we're starting to see those real results, which you're going to see a couple here soon. But I want to talk about failure as well. Failures are common, and they're really important part of this process. So oftentimes we don't talk about the failures. We're only talking about these wins, but I do want to bring up that failure are really important in this process. The key is to just learning fast and then trying again. Learn fast, try again. So let's jump into some case studies. So I've got 4 here, and these businesses, they're not big tech companies with massive budgets and big teams. These are businesses potentially just like yours that have made AI work for them, and they just did it one step at a time. Now I want to go into a company, and I just want you to picture this again. You're a fast growing retail. This is a fashion brand. Your team is totally stretched thin. It's very small, but your customer service inbox is always overflowing, and scaling without sacrificing quality is key, but doing everything manual, it's no longer sustainable. That's the truth. And so this was the reality for Amera, who is a fashion company. They were putting really big emphasis on wanting to finally grow, but they needed smarter systems to make it happen. Now, they've had a couple different systems, but I wanted to show you a couple of their struggles, and then it may resonate with yourself as well. So the first one was content writing took too long for them. So they were writing high quality product descriptions. Yes, they were doing blogs and marketing as well, but I just want to speak about these product descriptions. They actually had hundreds because they had lots of SKUs. They had all these wet prom dresses and just beautiful prom dresses and different dresses that you could wear out. And it took them a lot of time to write these. And then the second part was handling their customer inquiries. It took a lot of their staff time. And so what this meant was they were delaying responses, and then they were getting lower satisfaction. So just to give you an idea, these are some of the ideas in terms of the content that they would come up with. And so they lent into generative AI, specifically ChatGPT, $20 a month. Maybe they had the teams. I couldn't figure that one out. But for $20 a month, AI now writes up all their product descriptions, and then they had used AI chatbots for their customer service. Now, for them, these two areas, now, if you're thinking like product descriptions and using AI to write them, that's pretty easy. If you're looking at the screen here, they were able to do them 3 times faster, and they actually were able to, they saved 60% of their content creation time. So that's one area, which is huge. That's a huge return on something that's quite simple, but it takes a lot of their time. Now, the customer support workload that they were always struggling with because they had a small team, when they brought this AI chatbot in, they said that, oh my gosh, it was able to handle 70% of customer inquiries. Now, what's really amazing by this is all of us can get chatbots in our company, and also chatbots are getting really sophisticated. But they don't have to be complex. Even just down to frequently asked questions they can be so incredible, because again, a lot of people reach out to us that want to know the same information over and over. So these are some, again, the transformation after AI was really huge for this company. And these are just two areas. And they started with one, and then they moved on to the next. Hopefully that gives you a little understanding of one company and where they had success. Second company is a company called Royer Thompson. So if you're running a consultancy business and you're ready to elevate your brand, or even if it's not a consultancy business, this particular company was actually positioning themselves for acquisition. So they knew that stock photos were not going to cut it. They needed a new website that looked super polished and powerful as their biggest competitors. And they had some big names in the marketplace. And so what happens though, if your budget's really tight? We can't all go out and have $30,000 shoots and be able to go all across Canada. This is exactly what Royer Thompson faced. And they were like, okay, they're expanding their services. We know we need to grow. We need a brand that will reflect this, but it's too expensive. Hiring photographers, especially for their creative, they wanted to highlight right across Canada, was very difficult. Logistically, it was very hard to coordinate. And also they were wanting a lot of diversity. So they have a real showcase of representation of people, places, as I mentioned, across Canada. So I would love for you to hop into Menti and let me know if this is applicable to you, because how easy is it for you to create visuals that match your brand? Sometimes we don't even think of this. And if you're like, oh, I don't really head up the area of visuals, somewhat difficult, somewhat easy, very difficult. Okay, so it's important, again, very difficult. Thank you, everyone. We've got somewhat difficult. Nobody said it's very easy, so that's interesting. We've got a couple neutral and somewhat easy. What's interesting about this, now there's some text on here, but they were able to use AI images. And I have to say, I went in and worked on this whole campaign, and we worked on all kinds of images across Canada that were aspirational, fit their brand and their strategy. And I just want to let you know, they saved cost over 90%. That was unbelievable. They got top quality results without spending thousands and thousands of dollars in travel and shoots. Now, I'm not saying if you're a photographer here, I'm not trying to cut anybody's job out, but this project would have not happened. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for AI. So what used to take also weeks was done in a few days. And they could easily make changes anytime, so they didn't have to reshoot everything and have extra expenses, which was really helpful for them to get a really good quality product out. So this was, again, another case study of a company. They had a problem, and how are we going to use AI to fix it? Is it possible? If you're interested at all, just so you know, not going to overwhelm anybody here today, but Midjourney, ChatGPT, just with their new model, is coming up with incredible images. I've done some crazy things with ChatGPT lately, and Instagram's free. You can go in there and just have a great time creating AI images. That's what's really important. Again, finding that pain point, knowing what you're going to apply AI for. And this brings me to the next company, which is called Haven Consulting. Now, basically this company, and I want you to try to imagine this as well, You've been wrapping up maybe a full day of client meetings. You're completely exhausted, but instead of relaxing or going home to your family or working on new opportunities, you're stuck typing up reports. Is anybody in this area where they have to go on site and they have to write reports? Let me know in the chat, actually. This was happening to Have in Consulting. They're on site. Okay, so we've got somebody here, on-site consultant would leave their client location and then they would spend more time afterwards writing these reports. So what was amazing, pardon me, it meant that they were delaying, excuse me, everyone, their reports. They were wasting billable hours on admin so that they, instead of working with clients, or like I said, just going home early, and they increased their costs. So the company was actually, they were losing money by paying high value consultants to do really low value work. And this is another area of AI, which is quite amazing because it can really help those admin types of costs. Pardon me for joking here today. So what did Haven do? Haven was able to go in and say they would take 45 minutes. Seems like a really low, simple thing, Melissa, like really. But what was amazing was when we think about our admin, and I'll come back to Menti, they were able to get a piece of a voice, an AI-driven piece of voice software, which actually we built, and they would just hold their phone up instead of having to go to the computer, and it would take them 3 to 5 minutes to say what happened on site, what day it was, what case number. And what was amazing was they had dictated these reports verbally, and then AI instantly transcribed everything. And just to make it even crazier, as they put it in their phone, it would automate the formatting and summaries. So the AI did this, and it put it into a client, like into their reporting system, and then it would email them to say it was ready. So again, I know that seems like such a simple concept where it's, oh, that only took that person 45 minutes. And now, yes, it takes them 3 to 5 minutes, but I want to get you to look at a little bit of just what like small types of jobs can mean for businesses and ones that are growing. So if this company was growing and they wanted to have 10 people be able to use this, they had to use it every single day to report when they were on site 5 days a week. So what they ended up saving was 2,000 minutes per week, because everything does come down to return on investment. We based it on 37 hours, 37 weeks specifically. And so per annum or per year, it was $126,000 and 60, yeah, around $26,000. So that's a significant amount of money on one task in a company. Just imagine that they're saving. So this is the same thing with you and your business. Even though we start really small, we think about that one pain point. And even if it saves you 25 minutes, that's significant over time. And that's the joy of being able to look at AI solutions. So I'd love to go back, and I would like to figure out or get an idea on how much time you spend on admin. So we've got too much to count. Oh gosh, love you. Okay, too much to count. We'll start to break those things down just in terms of those admin kind of tasks. We've got lots in the 2 to 5 hours. Think about if you could get another 2 hours back every week. And I really, again, this is an opportunity for us to really think about how we work and really where we're taking some of those tasks. So thank you, everybody. Looks like most people are in the 2 to 5 hour zone, and then we get too much to count. But there's all kinds to work within what you just actually put in there, because you know your business and you know what you're working on every day. So let's move into, so now we've seen a retail company that has used ChatGPT and chatbots. We have seen a company that has been able to have significant savings on images. We've seen this company, which this is not like a single kind of, this is called like an AI automation, just so you know. This is not like a single task, like going into ChatGPT or another model, but this is where the world is going, just so you know. And what I want to show next is, if you are interested, because I know we have beginners and we have people that are a little further along in their journey, how we created this was we went into make.com. And so this is how you get tasks to link together and talk to each other. So if you're interested at all, check out Make. They've got some fantastic tutorials in there as well. So I want to go into case study 4. So let me know before we go into this, let me know in the chat, is anybody overwhelmed yet? Or are you, wow, I see that this is actually really useful. Let me know in the chat. I want to see where you're at. I want to make sure no one's overwhelmed. Charlotte says she's all good. Anybody else? Anybody like, oh gosh, most of this makes me nauseated? Would love to know more about Make. Absolutely. This is all about giving you an opportunity to imagine. We could spend literally days on each section, but we're just doing an overview today. So let's go into case study 4. So this was Gumerson and Co. Very small, it's very small business, meaning it's not a solopreneur, but they have 5 people. And this is they have they're basically a small law firm that struggles to keep up with the demands of legal research specifically. And so every single time they do a case, it requires hours, sometimes days of document analysis. And it really slowed down their client services and limited how many cases they could actually take on, which meant that they weren't able to scale. And I've been hearing this more and more every single day about just the research side. So what they did was, again, their bottlenecks were a problem. They had delays in their case strategy. They also had risk of missing key pieces of information. And that's where AI is getting really smart, is sometimes human capability. Look, humans trump AI any day for me, but just the precision of being able to go through things, it's very helpful if you've got a lot of data. So the solution. They didn't have to dig anymore. I don't know what's happening with my throat, so apologies. They were able to use a chatbot to pull up key information from cases. They were able to get faster answers, which was amazing. So what used to take them hours now takes minutes. And they had fewer mistakes, which was huge, which meant that they could change over their caseloads really quickly. And this is really important, like I said, because they were getting more clients. And it's happening more and more where there's ways that we can do the quick AI wins in our business, just like this company. I wanted to show you something here today, just in terms of being able to go in from a research perspective, or if you're trying to put everything together and you spend time on maybe customer research, or maybe it's a trend in your industry, because there's all the time we have to expend on the internet to try to find this information. We can do this with deep research. And deep research, if you're not familiar, and I'm part of the Perplexity Fellowship, which means if you're not familiar with Perplexity, it's neck and neck with Google now, but it's AI powered search. And basically, Grok is not on there. You're right, Ramesh. I'm just bringing up ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini. Grok is absolutely in there. These are the ones that I use right now. And what deep research does is it really quickly finds and organizes information from many sources. So it goes right across the internet and is able to pull up information instead of being able to scroll through and then click in and click out. That's becoming really old very quickly, and really understand a topic and not just skim the surface. So you can, like I mentioned before, you could use it for competitor analysis, or maybe it's like you want to do some content and blog topic research, or maybe, like I said, industry trends with what within your area, or maybe it's customer insights, product pricing, profitability. You can get all this knowledge, and it's incredible knowledge. Maybe you want to find the best tools and software. That's a great place to go. Or anything from grant funding opportunities. I heard at the beginning, where Zeneb said about the $75,000. Funny enough, I did a search and a deep research project in funding across Canada in Perplexity, and they came up. So that's fantastic. But I want to actually show you a little live demo, just so you know what to expect, or what you can, where you need to go and what you need to see. Even though this is not diving in too deep today, let me just share my screen. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see Perplexity. So give me a thumbs up in the chat. That would be amazing. You can go in here, similar if you're familiar with ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or anyone. What we've got here is it's asking us, what do you want to know? And so I can put anything in here, but I can actually, I'm just going to copy and paste one because I'm not a super quick typer. But what I'm going to put in here is summarize the latest 2025 trends in retail, include growth projections, consumer behavior shifts, and emerging opportunities. Provide all sources. I always say provide all sources because Perplexity will provide the source, but I always want to make sure that it's covered. Now, you can do it one of two ways, and you can use this for free, just so you know, but you have so many, with deep research, you only get so many times that you can ask a question. So it is important to think about what you really need, and then it resets. But you can click on deep research, and then what it will do is it will go deeper in. It will take a little bit longer than a regular search because it's doing some reasoning. It's going across things. It's actually pulling between 40 and upwards to 80 different resources, and then it's coming together in an elaborate report, which is pretty amazing. But I'm not going to use deep research right now because sometimes it takes up to, could be 5 minutes, it could be 8 minutes. Sometimes I will do my prompt, which is asking this question. I'll go get a cup of tea, I'll come back, and my report will be here and it'll be ready to download. But if I click on just a regular search, let's just see what it comes up with. So it's just doing a regular pro search. Like I said, you can get in here free and do this anytime. So what it's doing is it's searching, it's going through all different reports. It's obviously reading as in real time. It's going to go through sources, and then it's going to give me what I'm asking back. So here we go. The latest trends. I didn't specialize. Okay, that's actually really interesting. It's right across the board. Online grocery sales, economic context, consumer behavior shifts. It goes into emerging opportunities. Of course, artificial intelligence is in there. It talks about your challenges. So you have now little citations, see these little numbers? You can go right to the source of whatever you're trying to dig into. And say you've got a certain kind of piece of information in here that you're really interested by, like maybe it's about online grocery sales. I know that's just totally random right now, but you can go ask a follow-up question and you can dive closer into where you're trying to, again, try to find that research. It's underrated because of the times that you spend going through the internet to find information. This is a key tool that can get you there so quickly. So hopefully that's like a good little helpful tip. I'm going to stop sharing here and we will be able to open this up at the end to ask questions. But I want to go back to the presentation here. Does everybody know? Okay, everybody good with now saying, okay, I'm going to jump into Perplexity, or maybe you already use it? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. It's a quick, effective tool that you can use. Absolutely. I want to give you a couple other like just really quick tips or quick wins. These are actually some people, and I have stories all day long. And so if you are someone that actually has all kinds of wins, we're going to get to you in just a minute. But Jeff Lloyd, who's a project manager and he's in controls, you don't have to use it. There's so many ways to use AI. So if you're in a chatbot like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Grok or any, what's interesting is this particular person actually said to me, it's a judgment-free brainstorming partner. It's space to air your thoughts without fear of retribution, which I thought was really interesting because, again, it's a real, there's so many ideas that we might have. And if you hesitate, this is a really great way, just as a quick win, to go in there and be able to say it out loud where you might have not said it before. Carlotta, she's an educational kinesiologist, and she actually she's a little bit further in where she's getting assistants, GPTs, to talk to each other like a round table of AI experts. Now, I can't even stretch my brain that far, Melissa, today. That's absolutely okay. But what happens when we start to move on our AI journey, we see the potential, we can start to connect things. And that's what we did with that Haven company, where we started to use voice and then it put it into a spreadsheet and then it emailed. So this was a real big, it was not a quick win, but it was a quick win because she knew what she was doing throughout this. So I'd love for you to be able to now jump into Menti, go into Menti, and just what's one quick win you've had? And you don't have to have it just to do with work. So share something that you're like, I was in AI and I did this. And it could be personal. It could be I actually went and we had our whole washing machine fixed because of AI, because of ChatGPT. It helped diagnose the problem and we saved a ton of money instead of getting a new one. So let me know, everyone, what is your win? What's your one win? So just go into Menti and then you'll start to key it in. We have no response. Oh, here we go. I've saved so much time drafting emails by using Copilot and ChatGPT, like hours. 1000%. I do too. Social media image creation, fantastic. Easy research, great. Making reading materials for my English class, fantastic. It's a fantastic teaching guide. Had questions on immigration processes for work and personal. Absolutely. Completed my first funnel in only 3 hours. That's pretty significant. So this person is new to AI. So my win is whenever Google gives me the answer I need at the top without having to look through the links. 100%. That was a really great feature. And that came, they took a little bit of time, but it's so helpful because we don't want to go through links. We're trying to save time all the time now. Formatting emails, fast information. This is great, everybody. And this is the whole purpose of, again, being able to use AI in our day-to-day as much as possible. Now, when I look at, a lot of people will ask, Melissa, how do we actually start to measure impact? Because you can have all these ideas and you can start to use them. And a lot of it can be unconscious. We're not even paying attention. We know it saves us time, but really, how much time does it save us? I want to talk to you briefly about measuring impact. So there's two really important questions, which is, what outcome am I hoping to create? So once you said, yeah, I'm going to use this AI tool for this particular task, what is it that I'm trying to, what outcome am I hoping to create? And how will I know if it's actually working? Like, those are really insightful questions. And you don't need fancy dashboards or complicated metrics, although AI can absolutely help you do cool things like this. You just need real signals, world signals that give you that confidence and traction that you need. Remember I said, fail fast and fail often. So it might be as simple as you saying, how long did this take me before I used AI? And now how long does it take me after I'm using AI? So those are just, again, it could be, I used to spend 30 minutes after every sales call, writing up notes and a follow-up email. And now with an AI assistant, it takes me 5 minutes to review. So that's a win. That's a really big win. So if you start, again, documenting, or if you're just getting started, pick one thing. So what I'm doing here today, just so you know, you don't have to remember this in terms of tracking. You have hopefully a PDF that was sent by a Futurepreneur, and I actually will put it in the chat right now. You can download it and you can actually track your Gen AI experience in terms of that first task, or any task for that matter. It will take you through those steps. So hopefully that will be helpful for you. And if you've got any questions, let me know. But it is important that we, not only when we're trying the tools, but we're evaluating how much time are they helping us? Because there might be times where I see a lot of people with writing where they're not getting to where they want to be because perhaps they are not using the tool to its greatest efficiency level. And they're spending more time on rewriting things. And that again, to me, is not a really great use case scenario. It's great that you tried it. Maybe it's that you need more training so that you can get it to sound like you, or to make it help you sound more like your brand. Or maybe it's just one of those things that actually AI is not helpful here. So absolutely go in and use the fillable worksheet. And as I have gone through this as well with people, more and more I'm learning, and this is actually a lesson from Roy Batt, that many people give up on AI because they expect it to be magical. Especially remember that first moment that you get onto ChatGPT or one of the models and you go, wow, it did all this for me. And if you haven't done that yet, you're going to have the same feeling. You're going to say, oh my goodness, it's magical. So what's really the deal? What we need to really think about it is like riding a bike. So you're going to need a few tries to get the hang of it. It's not just like an instantaneous, if it's not working for you the way that you want, dig into why. So that's really a really important thing. So yes, don't give up on AI, even if you're just, again, you're stuck somewhere. We don't want it to be magical, but we also want to share that if you're stuck with AI strategy or training, or just being able to know how to roll it out in your business with confidence, connect with us, connect with me. We offer one-on-one strategy sessions, and we're certainly here to help you in whatever way. And especially if you're a non-techie and you don't even know what questions you're asking. I want to be able to move this into our Q&As because I'm sure that you have some questions. If you haven't done already, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always sharing different things just in terms of hopefully helpful tips, trying to keep people up to date as well. So you can use the QR code or just do a screenshot of my details and connect with me there, and I will absolutely get back to you. Yes?
There was a question. Should I be using singular AI or does using a couple or multiple better?
Oh.
And if you could make any comments on ethical usage of AI and legalities, privacy issues.
So with regards to the question around using multiple pieces of, or multiple tools in AI, I think what's very important is that you start to gain confidence. And that's a really huge first step, and seeing the potential of what it can do. Oftentimes we just want to jump right to do it all for me. I don't want to do it all. But I really believe, and this is what I speak about with leaders and leadership, how you have to know how to use it in different use cases. So that is singular cases. And then you can start to go, oh, you can connect these pieces. That makes complete sense. So it doesn't mean to say if you're ready for it and you're like, okay, I want to do multiple, like the make.com, the make one. If you've got a pain point and someone can help you, or you can go in and you can do it yourself, I don't discourage you from that, because I think every single thing right now is about exploring, playing, trying things to try to make it work for whatever your pain point is in your business. So I know that's a broad answer, but hopefully that helps. Happy for the person to unmute themselves as well if there's any follow-up. The second question with regards to legal, we didn't talk really today about responsible AI. And that's something that I always encourage. When we're using any AI tools, we always have to be exceptionally careful with the type of data that we're putting into it. So if it's something that could be, that's not been published on the internet, maybe it's information about clients that is private, unless you've got like the enterprise versions or you're paying more for the models, which sometimes, again, we want so much for things that are free or for $20 a month. How much security you're going to get on $20 a month? There is also areas in these models where you oftentimes can turn the training off. So that's one thing, just in terms of inputting or putting data in to AI. It loves data, but you have to be careful what you're feeding it. The second piece is all these models, they hallucinate, which means they make stuff up. And you might have already used a model before, and I say model like ChatGPT or Grok or anyone, and it's very important to double cross-reference or cross-check. If you're going to be able to go in there, you have to make sure, and that's why I asked in Perplexity will always give me a citation or a link. But if you went into a model like ChatGPT, it doesn't always give you that link, which means, is it making it up? So I always want to do my due diligence on my side to ask the questions to make sure I can go back through to see where that research came from. It's really quick and I can scan it, and great. That means it's actually a great piece of information. One more thing with regards to this is a big topic, so I appreciate whoever asked this. When we're going in, and especially when you look at that, say that law firm, your business might have very confidential information, or if you're in healthcare, people are getting models built on in their own systems. And that may sound really complex and, oh my goodness, that's so incredibly expensive. Yeah, there's you have to be able to put money in to be able to get these little ecosystems that you're building. But again, that will safeguard all the data that you're needing to protect. So there's always options. That's why it's a really good idea as well when you're moving into this, that AI strategy, which again, I know a lot of people talk about AI strategy, but really understanding how is that going to roll out in terms of how you're going to use it and where things are going to be impacted. So maybe you do have to look at a higher paying subscription, or maybe it is something that you're like, okay, these are things that we're not going to put in, and that helps you develop your own little AI policy in your company. So I know that's really broad. So hopefully there's a couple nuggets in there, but I'm happy for people to unmute if you're able and to ask any question. I'm going to go right from the top to the bottom. Images for websites and proposals. ChatGPT free version was not helpful. Could you give me advice? So it wasn't helpful for me either, actually. So I went to ideogram.ai. Ideogram, you can get free images. I think you get about 40. It's a little bit slower in processing, which means it maybe takes you a minute or two instead of 30 seconds. But I went to Ideogram, but because of the new recent update with ChatGPT, and if you're not a paying subscriber, it is going to roll out, but the images are unbelievable. It's completely changed everybody's talking about it. ChatGPT might be actually, you might be able to use it in future. So that's a fantastic thing. But in the meantime, just use ideogram.ai, and it's really easy and like user-friendly to use. Since AI,
Melissa,
yep.
Melissa, you mentioned 80 images. That's per month or per free subscriber? What?
Sorry, that it's 40. I think it's 40 images
40
up to, I think it's 40 images, I believe, up to a day. It's changing all
a
the
day.
time. So
Okay.
it's still a lot of images, but when you go in there, what you're going to find is it iterates 4 images at a time.
Thank you.
To give you variety. Okay, let me just go through. So I mainly use Copilot and have Canva clean up any documents using Canva that will use my brand kit. Do you recommend any other programs with similar uses? You're in the Copilot area. Ideogram is actually really great for brand kit. You can develop, and again, I don't know exactly what you're using in your brand kit. You can put in all your brand guidelines within Ideogram. So say you're looking to do maybe a new icon for a program that you're leading. Again, without having context, Amber, I really apologize. Maybe you can reach out as well to me directly. But Ideogram will be able to take all that on board. Also, just so you know, ChatGPT, and I hate to come back to ChatGPT, it does have a lot of functionality. You can actually put in your hex colors and the colors that you use in your brand. And so with the new imagery, it can temper and find images that are the style and the colors that you're looking for. So hopefully.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to also point out too that I basically just started using them to get together the framework for my business. So it was basically just getting some of that information, getting some sort of feedback that follows my vision for my brand. So I just wanted to know if you had any better recommendations, and it seems like you do with Ideogram, so maybe I'll start using that and ChatGPT because I keep hearing it get brought up, so it's probably something worth looking into.
100%, and that gives me more context, so I appreciate that. I would say Claude, again, any of the models, ChatGPT, you can go in, and if you've got a vision, and this is what I love about these models, like these chatbot models, is that you can have conversations back and forth with them, and you can just go through that process of trying to figure out your thinking. And so if you've got a vision, that's a great place to start, just in the chat area, not going to Ideogram then for that particular piece, and start working your way through it and being able to find all the nuggets of the information that you've ended up with, and then go into another program potentially to get the hard copy of things, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it does. Thank you so much. That clarifies a lot for me.
No problem. I know today, again, we were going over case studies, and there's so much, and maybe people's heads are going, oh my goodness. There's not much it can't do, I have to say. Obviously it can't be the human, but there's so many tools out there, or even just the capability within these models. They can do so much. And oftentimes what I see is that people only do a tiny tip of the iceberg, and underneath is what everybody's missing, because they think, oh, I just went on there and it didn't really give me a good response, or it didn't give me a good picture, it didn't do this. And actually it's abundant what it can do, especially when you can really use it. So highly recommend to really dig into that training on one model. Just don't simplify your life, keep it simple. AI is being consulted so often for such a broad range of issues. Do you see AI driving consulting businesses out of business? How do you see AI affecting consulting businesses? So this is a question I get a lot across every business. Do I think there's going to be people that their jobs change or they lose that particular role? What I mean by that is, if we know low-level admin work can be done by AI, then chances are you do have to go with the fact that technology is moving in and solving some of those use case scenarios. But specifically with consultants, there's so many things that you do, and every person in this room, metaphorically, we all have our ability to do our jobs in a way that's unique to our industry. And it's really important that the human is there to be able to drive the AI, because AI, again, yes, there's certain things that it can do, but the human needs to be there to drive it. So I always say, we're going to be maybe changing or evolving our jobs, even as a consultant, where you're a bit more of a conductor in your business. And again, don't want to go too deep into that, other than the fact is every single person's job is evolving, and we're trying to learn to live with how do we coexist with technology and how can it really help us. So in our consulting business, where is it? It's not going to just, again, unless you have a little chatbot that speaks to all your clients, which I see a lot of companies doing now, where they've got a chatbot that will help with certain things, and that is helpful for their clients, and it does some of the lifting, but then they have to go into more specialty areas with that particular consultant. So how you see your business, don't lead from fear, lead from curiosity, and go, okay, where is that next step? So I appreciate that question. Again, I know that's a really broad, watered down answer to your question, but I don't think everybody's going out of business. I just think that the people that are not using AI possibly will go to business. That's going to be the difference between the person that stays in the job, that has the AI experience or is curious to that and can keep going with it, versus the person that's, nope, I'm not using it at all. That's where I see the two discrepancies. So everybody, it's 2 minutes after wherever you're at. I want to say thank you so much for being here, and I hope everyone has a great day.